Hello, welcome back to my channel, The Global Brief. Today we are going to talk about the United Kingdom. Why does the UK keep changing its prime ministers? Britain's political and economic crisis. When people think of Britain, they think of stability. It is one of the world's largest and oldest democracies, the birthplace of industrial revolution and home to one of the world's biggest financial centers, the London. We all of us are aware of it. Yes, in just a few years, the UK has gone through several prime ministers. Many people wonder why are prime ministers changing so often? Is Britain facing a political crisis? Is its economy collapsing? What happened after Brexit? Let's understand the full story. How does Britain choose a prime minister? Unlike countries where people directly elect the prime minister, the UK follows the parliamentary system. The public elects members of parliament. The political party with the majority forms the government. The leader of that party becomes prime minister. This also means if the ruling party loses its confidence in one leader, it can replace the prime minister without holding a general elections. This explains why prime ministers can change quickly. The recent prime ministers, David Cameron. David Cameron called the Brexit a referendum. He believed people would vote to remain in the European Union. Instead, the country voted to leave. After losing the referendum, Cameron resigned. The next one, Theresa May. Her biggest challenge was implementing Brexit. However, Parliament repeatedly rejected her Brexit agreements. She faced opposition from both pro-Brexit and anti-Brexit MPs. Eventually, she resigned. The third one, Boris Johnson. Johnson finally completed Brexit. Soon after, COVID-19 hit. His government spent hundreds of billions of pounds supporting businessmen and workers. Later came the Partygate scandal. During COVID-19 lockdowns, government officials, including Johnson, were accused of attending gatherings that violated the rules that imposed on the people. Many ministers resigned, forcing Johnson to step down. Fourth one, Liz Truss. Liz Truss became Britain's shortest serving prime minister. She introduced large tax cuts without explaining how they would be funded. Financial markets panicked. The pound fell sharply. Government borrowing costs increased dramatically. The Bank of England had to intervene to stabilize pension funds. Within 45 days, she resigned. The fifth one, Rishi Sunak. Sunak inherited high inflation, rising government debts, NH waiting lists, slow economic growth, cost of living crisis. Although inflation gradually fell, many households still struggled with high food prices, housing costs, and energy bills. The Conservative Party lost significant public support. Keir Starmer, the present one. The Labour Party won the 2024 general election by landslide. Starmer inherited major challenges like weak economic growth, high public debt, NHS backlogs, housing shortages, immigration pressures, public service funding issues. His government is trying to improve the economic growth while keeping government borrowing under control. Britain's biggest problems. The first one is Brexit. Brexit remains one of the biggest turning points. Leaving the European Union created new customs checks, labor shortages in some sectors, and changes in trade relationships. Supporters argue it restored sovereignty. Critics argue it reduced trade deficiency and investment. The second one is government debt. Britain's government debt increased significantly because of COVID spending, energy support of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, higher interest payments, public services, Debt itself is not unusual. Many developed countries borrow. The challenge is ensuring debt grows more slowly than the economy. NHS crisis. The National Health Service faces long waiting lists, staff shortages, funding pressures, growing demand from an aging population. Many patients wait months for treatment. And the next one is cost of living. After COVID and the war between Ukraine and Russia, energy prices increased, food prices increased, mortgage payments rose because interest rate increased. Many British families found everyday life more expensive. And another one, immigration. Immigration has become one of Britain's biggest political debates. The UK receives illegal migrants, international students, skilled workers, and refugees. There has also been concern about irregular migration across English Channel. The governments have promised tougher border controls while businesses argue they need migrant workers to fill their labor shortages. And the next one, slow economic growth. Britain is no longer growing as quickly as it did decades ago. Reasons include lower productivity, Brexit-related trade changes, and higher taxes, aging population, global uncertainty, and investment changes. Is Britain going bankrupt? Absolutely no. This is an important distinction. Britain remains one of the world's largest economies. London is still a major global financial center. The UK can borrow money at relatively low interest rates compared with many other countries because investors generally view it as credit worthy. However, the government faces difficult choices over taxation, spending, and borrowing. Then, why do prime ministers change so often? The answer is political accountability. If MPs lose confidence in their leader, they can force a leadership contest. The government party then chooses a new leader who becomes the prime minister without a national election, provided the party still holds a majority in parliament. This can make UK politics appear unstable during periods of crisis, even though the constitutional system itself intact. The future of Britain. The UK still has major strengths: world-class universities, global financial institutions, advanced technology sector, scientific research, NATO membership, nuclear power status, but its future will depend on whether it can grow the economy, reduce debt sustainably, reform the NHS, increase productivity, maintain investor confidence, balance immigration with the labor market trade and the needs. Britain's recent political changes are not just about changing the leaders. They reflect deeper debates over how to manage the economy, public services, immigration, and the country's role after Brexit. The lesson is that changing a leader does not alone solve the structural problems. Lasting problems comes from consistent policies, effective institutions, and public trust. For more interesting topics, kindly subscribe the channel and stay tuned. Thank you.